The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and/or the persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of FRC Media, Bristol Community College, or the City of Fall River.
A little different sitting down with this thing, huh? Welcome to another edition of Table Topics.
Yes, and we're back for another show. And like always, if you're watching us and it's not a Wednesday night, it's because you're watching a repeat show. So please come back next week, and we'll be here with a brand new show for you. Well, so you can watch this show on Facebook or on our YouTube channel. That something's going on over there. Must be the elves working upstairs or something.
I think that's what you're right. You're probably right.
Maybe Santa's working on the second floor. Yes, and as you can see, we are getting closer and closer to Christmas.
Yeah.
So. How's shopping for you? Does everybody already have a present?
Yeah, we're all done. Well, not everybody, but yeah, most people.
Well,
most people.
Now a lot easier. You know, the gift is just about this big.
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
a gift card. Yeah, exactly.
And it's done. Go shop.
yeah. No, you're right. That's the easiest way to do it. You just go and run in the places, come out.
I know. And I keep telling them, don't bother with me. I have everything. I have socks. I have underwears. I have everything. So don't bother with me, okay? Yeah. I'm good for. Matter of fact, I still have a gift certificate for massage that my daughter gave me for Father's Day. They haven't even used it yet. I have no time.
Swansea, right?
Somerset.
Oh, okay. All right.
Somerset.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're getting closer to Christmas. So let's start our show today. Once again, telling and inviting everybody for our Christmas show at Kuss Middle School on the 18th. Doors going to open at 1. The show will be at 2 o'clock. If you are a student, you don't pay to get in. If you a parent, an adult, pays $1. Participating on the show, so the performers will be the Watson School, the Talbot School, the Fonseca School, the Espiritu Santo School, the baton and ballet classes from CD Recreation.
Cool.
And we're gonna have a teenage group. They call themselves Theaterettes. So I'm looking forward to the show. I'm pretty sure it's going to be nice. The intent of the show, it's not to raise money. It's not to make money. The intent is just to get the kids together, enjoy themselves on the season of Christmas. All the kids pretty much, they have small numbers. They practice for their school to present on their school. It's like a 2-3 minute songs or whatever.
Yeah, cool.
And the idea came from, okay, so you already know what you're doing, right? So I bring them all together, I pick a bunch of schools, bring them into the stage, and we present a show that people just have a different Sunday afternoon, you know. Yeah, so cool. I really looking for our seniors that are always home. This is something that they probably enjoy very much, especially done by kids. So
good.
We're looking for everybody to be there.
Excellent.
Good. Now I have a video because Fall River has a Christmas tree.
Okay.
And we're gonna see where the Christmas tree of Fall River came this year.
Oh, cool. I wanted to see that.
Very interesting.
I wanted to see that.
One blustery morning in November, curious neighbors wondered why this section of Charles Street was blocked off. Residents soon realized it was for an annual tradition, as work crews removed an evergreen that had outgrown its boundaries. This pine has the distinction of being the official city Christmas tree for 2022.
When you see that tree coming down, it gets you ready for the Christmas season. It introduces you to it.
The designated route avoided narrow side streets and electrical wires. Still, delivery proved to be tedious and required many hands. The fabulously shaped pine weighs 2,200 pounds. The Department of Community Maintenance is already scouting a tree for next year.
Well, it is a process. A lot of times we have leads. People will call in, they'll have a tree. We'll go out, myself, the tree warden, Chris Perano, and him and I went and looked at a couple of trees. And some of them aren't quite ready. We'll put them on the list. We'll look at them again for next year. And we do have a couple of leads for next year, and some for the year after that. They're not quite there yet.
More than 3,000 lights decorate the branches. In years past, work crews watched squirrels scamper out as the tree was dropping. Crews have also found birds' nests, which thankfully were already vacated. Companies involved included Northeastern Tree Service, Coastal Excavation, also Bishop Electric. Charlie gives a shout out to contractors for taking on the high-profile task.
I'd like to thank everyone involved. I'd like to thank all the volunteers, especially, that donated their time and services to recover this tree and put it where it is today.
Happy holidays, everyone.
That was a cool story. I saw it. I didn't see the whole clip before,
Yes.
but it's nice to see it now.
Yeah. It's always interesting to see the story of the tree, and we did got a tree, but and I think that the lighting of the tree went well. I mean, I saw probably 50, 60 people there, which is a good amount. But here is the opportunity to really go big.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw the lighting of Boston tree.
No, but that's usually like last week. Yeah, it's a big city, Carlos.
I mean, they have fireworks. They have they have fireworks.
Yeah.
They have everything.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's all about planning.
Yeah.
I think it's just about planning.
Yeah.
Instead of having just the lighting, probably like a show going on or something. That's what they do, and I understand that Boston puts money into it.
Yeah.
On the budget for sure for something like that.
Yeah.
But they have top stars, coming to Boston to do it. So, and that's what drags people. And I mean, you could imagine that thing was full everywhere.
Yeah.
It was. You could not see.
I think I've been there. What is that? It's at the Common. Is that where?
I believe so. Yeah.
Which is a pretty big area that they spread out.
It's a big area. They put a stage right on the front of it that you could see the tree on the background, and then they just put like the fireworks out of the ground. Yeah. But I was impressed.
Yeah.
I was impressed.
Yeah. No. It is. It's something to look after. I think now the city has their hands full with just the parade.
Yeah.
And it seems like it's quite an undertaking.
But I think that the only way that this can be done is through a different committee, because that's the thing. They give the lighting of the Christmas tree to City Rec, and you cannot expect City Rec to do everything.
Yeah.
They do a good work on the parade.
Yeah.
So I think the lighting of the Christmas tree should be given to a different organization that don't have to deal with the same people, so you don't burn the people. And have this committee dedicated just for the ceremony of the lighting of the tree, and have one event a year, which is that, and they will work that event.
Yeah. No, it's something to look at, right?
Because if you remember going back, I think at Lember, we used to have fireworks for New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
Right on top of City Hall, that used to bring a lot of people to South Main.
Yeah. Well, I know they also had the first night. stuff back then. So I mean, I know that it costs some money. I think the fireworks they stopped due to some kind of safety issue. I think that's why that stopped.
Yeah.
So, and especially now, in the days we're in now.
No, but here's the thing. I mean, maybe you want to go to a different place. Maybe you want to go to Kennedy Park, which big, holds a lot of people, plenty of parking. But I think if that's another thing, that a lot of people don't have where to go for New Year's for the
New Year's
passing
Eve,
of the year.
Yeah.
So I think if we have another committee dedicated to,
to doing that, maybe you should talk to the powers to be then.
To do that, I think will be another could be another great event for the city.
Yeah.
But have something that really will bring people there. To bring people there, you need actually. And it's a combination because right now they have something. We already have a group doing something at Kennedy Park.
Yeah, I haven't been.
So the decorations is already there.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I hear you.
let's add some fireworks. Let's add some big stage. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I hear you. I think it's
half of the job is done. The decoration, it's done by this group that it's already doing it.
Yeah.
So let's.
They're probably going to add on the more and more. I have to say though about the first night stuff. From what I remember with first night, it was always super cold.
Yes.
Like 5 below. We were getting really cold weather back then, and there weren't really a lot of people when I would go because I think it was so bloody cold. I'd be 5 degrees or 5 below, and I used to feel bad because they had a lot of things going on, and there'd probably be like 10 people at each venue. You know. So yeah, it's kind of tricky with that to see, but I hear you. It's worth trying again, I'm sure. And we have a lot of new people in town. We have a lot of people probably that used to do that stuff. Yeah.
Because believe it or not, we have a lot of people that moving from Boston here and from areas that are used to do that and go out for those events. You know, and probably we have a different people that could attend those events.
Yeah, and no, I agree. I mean, I think you're getting, all of Bristol County is getting an influx of people from all over because it's more affordable here, if you want to say.
I mean, and again, if you're gonna really invest in something like that and bring a singer that's gonna cost you $30,000-$40,000, I'm pretty sure they will bring people out.
No, if you can,
saying?
I mean, and we did have, I mean, at Kennedy Park, not Kennedy Park, the Battleship, a few times they had a few, I think it was this Taylor, I can't remember the name, but it was like a 90s singer, and she got a lot of people to come in there. I remember going to that, it was actually pretty good, so yeah, I mean, it's just coming up with the money,
Yeah.
It's really coming up with the money.
I think if this is something that you can now work the month before. That's something that will take you a full year to schedule and to prepare for. But I think it's possible to do something. And you mentioned the Battleship. What a beautiful scene, on New Year's Eve at Battleship.
Yeah.
No, if you have the carousel going, if you have the vendors there inside the carousel, and just the background with the Battleship there, with the fireworks going, out there for New Year's. I think,
I mean, hopefully we look at the new area that they opened up, on the waterfront there.
Yeah, now they have the pier.
Yeah, and I was hoping that was going to be a little bit more like maybe putting like even an ice cream shop.
Yes.
If you go to New Bedford, right, and you have where the Black Whale is in New Bedford off 18, in that pier there, they also have like a clam thing that you can eat outside, and they have an ice cream place.
Yes.
Cushionet Creamery, and that place is always packed. So I was hoping that they would kind of try to replicate something. I know it's just the beginning, but put something out there so it'll start bringing people in. Because I think the carousel, the Battleship, that's not enough to draw enough people in. So it's got to be. It's hard to tell with Fall River because I think I've told you this before. When we had Fall River Celebrates, I remember they had a Lizzie board-in tour. And, it was like a bus that you charter.
Yeah.
And we went to the bed and breakfast. We went to the cemetery, Oak Grove Cemetery. and we went down North Main Street, and they talked about different things on North Main Street, how it was. I thought that was fantastic, and that thing was booked all the time. And I believe Mayor Correa started something to that effect. And it just didn't go anywhere, but I think it was catering more to the people that live here. And you know, the people that live in Orlando, Florida, don't go to Disney World every day.
Exactly.
You're catering to the people from outside. So I don't know how much publicity or how much was sent out to different people to say, hey, come over the bridge. We have, you know, the Underground Railroad tour here. We have a tour. So it's all bringing that together. And it's, you know, maybe Salem's a place that we should talk to if they haven't.
Well,
you know,
you know me. I paid to go and see the Vatican and the Colosseum in Rome.
Yeah.
And I didn't even step my foot on Lizzie Borden.
You haven't been to Lizzie Borden
Never.
before? Oh my God, you gotta
Never.
go. It is cool. It
You
is
know,
cool. To
so
go
here you have the perfect example.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, that's what I mean. But I've been because it's just they had a reenactment. It's just history. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So
Here it comes. I have something that people come from Rome, come from home here to go to Lizzie Borden.
Yeah.
And I'm right here. I drive by the house probably 5 times a day.
Yeah, yeah.
And I never stepped the foot on it.
yeah, but but you know what I'm getting at. I mean, I you know.
yeah.
I've been, but it's like, I mean, I've been to a lot of the things that we have here as well, but it's catering to people from outside, and maybe that's where that tourism director comes into play, because New Bedford's, I think, has a tourism person, and they just have more people working in the city. I mean, when we look at some of the, some of the departments, how many people work there, it's a wonder they get anything done. It really is sometimes. So. Sometimes when I watch the council meetings and, like how much are you going to pay this person and how that, I'm like, I totally get that, but we need people to work in the city. We need to get people to fill these jobs and get more. And I'm not saying more is always better, but in Fall River's case, we need more people in some of these departments because there's just not enough people to do some of these things, but like I said, New Bedford is able to do that. They've tapped onto that. It didn't come easy. You know what I mean? With New Bedford, it took them a long time because as a kid, I remember living in New Bedford, and downtown New Bedford was like Fall River. You know what I mean? It was just, like our downtown now needs work.
And
I think
I think something that we have to learn with them too is not to give 5 jobs to the same person.
Yeah.
They have 5 people doing 5 jobs.
Yeah.
We have this thing that it's only one person that knows how to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, you could know how to do it, but put somebody in charge of something else, and if you need help, you will go to this person for help. You know what I'm saying? That's the problem. We have we have probably somebody in Fall River walking with a crown with 5 jobs, making $1 million because it's $250,000 for every position that he takes.
Yeah,
and he walks around the city like he's a king, more than a mayor, but nothing gets done because one person cannot do 5 jobs.
Well, they're to run the department. So I mean, I look at, especially now with inflation. We're hiring a department head, and I can't remember what it was. It was over 100,000. This new person that came in, for that job. I just remember when we had John Perry in that. For that job, it's pretty much a 20-hour day job. Because they're constantly calling these folks. So if you sometimes look down to what they're making per hour, if they're working 12 to 15 hours. If they make 120 grand a year, they're probably making 60 grand a year because they're giving so many more hours in. So I think part of my frustration is when we see anything come down, it's like, oh, we're paying this person all this money. Well, if you want them to be a department head, you have to pay them, and but we also have to get other people on board. We can't just have the department head making this amount of money and then he has nobody below him and you're going to burn him out.
Well, but I think, but I can see the other side of the councilors that always bring that, how much we paying, because if this job is worth it in Boston, 140, and for 140, maybe it's good for Boston. because of the level of people and jobs they're making in there and how much they're making per. But we cannot compete with 140, giving somebody 140 just because you can go to work for Boston for 140. It's no comparison, you know. I mean, we cannot put ourselves. It's like you making $20,000 a year, but you want to buy a car that you cannot afford.
And I hear you. I don't hear much of a comparison from Boston because it's always been so expensive to live up there. So I'll give you an example. When I worked up there years ago, we had a hard time getting a receptionist to work for 50 grand a year. Now that sounds like a lot here, which with inflation it isn't, but up there, back then people were paying $2,000 a month for rent for a one bedroom. So to pay somebody 50 grand and they're paying 2,000, they're not living high off the hog. So, but I think most of the problem is that we just don't have enough people working in these departments. We don't, you know, we just don't. I mean, I'll just give you the tree department. In Fall River, we have 2 to 3 people. I believe in New Bedford, they have 20 to 30. And they go around and actually plant trees in the city. That's their job, to take care of them, to water them. And you know how we have a nonprofit. They've kind of leveled out, you know what I mean, or slowed down a lot compared to, you know, years ago. But they were the only ones that were doing it. And the state came in and got some grants and planted them. But I mean, these other places actually have the money to do this stuff. Yeah. You know?
Since you're talking and you're talking about trees, let me ask you this. Maybe you know the answer. If somebody buys a property, now it's private property. Can they just cut the trees down, or it's a process to cut the tree down?
I have a neighbor, and he's a great neighbor, you know. But there were 4 trees on the property when he bought it, and there's like 1.5 left. So it's your property. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the issue, and you know, you probably aren't one of our meetings, but we had an issue of like flooding in a certain area, and you know, it's terrible, and I get it. However, that area was just all cement. You know what I mean? There were, you know, a lot of people's front yards were like a mini parking lot. So that's like adds on to, if there's flooding there and there's nothing there to soak that up, you're going to have a big problem with flooding. So I believe that's what the city engineer is looking at now. Like, you have to have this much, you know, land and stuff.
So much cement.
Because I saw a house the other day. They're like, they tore up the whole yard and they're going to cement it. Now it was
well,
grass
they're going to
before.
pay a fortune.
Well, they're going to pay
for the water fee.
Well, no, they're not going to pay any more. I mean, it's not a big yard. But what I'm trying to get at is that all the people around them now, watch, they're going to have problems with water because all this, you know, used to have grass suck it up a little bit, where now it's just going to all run off.
The charge they do now, the $45 or $48 now for the water run fee or whatever they call it, it's only for a 2-car park. You know?
But they don't.
So if you have 6 cars.
Yeah, I don't think they look at that though, Carlos. They don't look at that.
Well, the last time that I spoken to somebody, and that was because of the Vol school, he explained to me that they measure the cement.
Well, yeah, if it's not a private residence, they're gonna measure that and then you know what I mean, charge. Yeah, because I think
a 6-car garage pays the same fee that a 2-car garage.
Probably, basically, probably. I mean, it's, you know, because you look at, you know, Stop and Shop, for example. I'm just taking that. I remember years ago they would talk what they'd be paying, and I think somebody had said it was like $100,000 for that parking lot just for the water fee. So I know we would complain about water. I get it, but they're paying $100,000 because they have a parking lot.
I just asked you that because you know that that big mill on Alden Street got sold, right? The old Fall River shirt. Got sold.
Is that going to be more condos?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
So they put all fence all the way around. It's been fenced for the past 2 months. They fenced all the way around. Today I go by, they're cutting all the trees down. They're not touching the building. They're cutting the trees down. So what probably should be the last thing to do after the building is done, right? We're gonna now work on a parking lot and see what we're gonna do with the parking lot. No, the first thing they do, they put the fence up and trees down.
Yeah,
So I don't understand.
Yeah,
what
I don't know why we do that here. We're probably the only city that does that here. However, I am gonna give some credit to the city, because when something like that is created, they almost have to create a drainage system for that whole sector that they're dealing with. So they're gonna pay. Maybe after a while, they're gonna get the picture that they need to have some trees to suck some of that up as well.
But that's the thing. I mean, you have trees there that probably 50, 60 years old already. It's a good tree. Now you're going to replace it with a new tree this big.
Yeah.
Where you going to get the shades, and where you going to get, I don't understand.
I think that's been something that's been going on here for too long. That's one difference with Fall River and New Bedford. If you go to New Bedford, most areas have trees. Like around Buttonwood Park.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have like really tight areas in the north end, no, they don't, because there's really no place to put them. But they do a better job with trees in New Bedford than we do here.
And
It's
saving
just-
buildings.
and saving them, yeah.
And saving buildings.
Yeah, I mean, they've done a lot like Fall River. You know what I mean?
118. I don't know when was the last time that you drove 118.
Yep.
They saved Joseph the facade of a building.
Okay.
I think it was a historical building or whatever.
Okay.
They knocked all the building down, but
They
they
kept that.
just secure the facades, and the facade's still up.
Yeah. I mean, they also were able, and we missed that boat, because we probably could have tried to get a historical or a national park with the battleship, and I think Fall River said no. New Bedford jumped on it, and they get a lot of federal money into that whaling park. So that's helped them along the way restore a lot of that stuff. When I was a kid, it didn't look that great.
Yeah.
So they were able, with the federal money, to put more money into
yeah.
it. You know what I mean? So.
Well, and we pretty much done with one more show. We'll be back next week, so we'll be the week before Christmas.
Yep.
This Saturday, I will be with the 2 full buses in New York. So let me see, and I'll bring news from New York.
There we go. Yeah, let me know what happens. I'd like to know how it is there.
But I cannot leave. I cannot survive 1 year without going to the Rockefeller Center and just admire that tree at Rockefeller Center.
Cool. I hear you.
But yes, I have 2 full buses there, and I think we'll be back then the following week with more news.
Sounds good.
Very good, John. Thank you again. And
Have a good
this is our show for today. I keep wishing you guys happy holidays.
Yep. Feliz Navidad.
Yes.